Hello everyone and welcome along to round number 7 of the 2017 GPVWC Stormcharge Super League season here from the Montreal street circuit, and well, this could be a very tasty one indeed. We've got penalties from the last round at Monaco, we've got a brilliant looking run form from Rudy Van Buren, and we have 70 laps of brilliant looking racing coming at you as soon as qualifying and warm up are complete. I'm Josh Anderson. I'll be taking you through the action for qualifying at least. Hopefully we'll have a Jake Sanson with us. He's not quite here yet. If he isn't though, then I'll be more than happy to take you through the actual racing action. At the moment, it's Lee Morris for Mad Cape Racing Team, who's on pole position. He's on a 1 minute 15.176, but should he get pole position, he will not be able to take it, and that is because he has a back of the grid penalty to be taken from Monaco for exceeding track limits. And as a result of that, Florian Gaia, who's in second, would take actual pole position. Morris really just going for bragging rights in this session. Gaia, though, would take pole position if that were to be the case. Rudy Van Buren, third in the session, but he has one as well from Monaco, so he will start at the back of the grid as well, so he won't take third. Risto Capet would be on course for second if that's the case. Estonian in fourth place in the session as it stands. Then Ben Sapanic in fifth place. He doesn't have a back of the grid, so he would start third. So these qualifying positions are by no means final. David Feidig, the reigning champion, has a back of the grid to serve as well, as does Nick Rowland, as does Sven Schubert, as does Alex Cooper as well. So there are a lot of big high-profile names with penalties to serve in this race. So lots of drivers maybe going to be shuffled around the final order when it comes to the end of qualifying. So going to be interesting to see how it does. Alex Cooper, as a result of his penalty, actually choosing not to set a lap. So, you know, sensible thinking there. Why set a lap and use up the tyres when I can just not do that? Roland, of course, one of the drivers with a penalty, currently in 10th place, 1.3 seconds off the pace. He will probably start reasonably far down the back of the grid runners then. Not looking good for him. Tobias Olsen in 14th, slightly off pace, you'd argue, with that Hawkeye. And Hawkeye, it's going to be a very interesting race for them, because they seem to have made a bit of a blunder with the engine choices, because I'm looking at this, and apparently this is completely legitimate. They have engines with 8% and 14% wear remaining. And I have no idea why this is. They must have missed the deadline, but their engines are going to be so fragile and so down on power in this race. Compounding Cooper's problems that I think he's got with the back of the grid, that's really not going to help anything, you know? And Olsen being that far down, the power deficit showing here at Montreal. So you'll need something to help himself overcome that. That is for certain, but 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Morris still leads it from Gaia, but Gaia, of course, would take pole position due to Morris's back of the grid penalty. Doesn't need to worry too much here, does Florian. Just needs to get a good lap in, really, which he has at the moment on a 1:15.493. Rudy Van Buren not that far behind. Risto Capet, though, the real danger man here, because if he can just get past Gaia, Risto Capet could full well find himself in pole position, and from there, no wonder, let's see what he can do, because Risto, we know, is very, very talented. Not quite had the Super League season as he wants, but he has some very good points so far, so could be a surprise winner perhaps at Montreal if he can get pole. David Frančić as well in the Street Fighter car, another driver who does not have a back of the grid penalty, so get another surprise package potentially on the cards here. Right, Kilk as well, Risto Capet's fellow countryman from Estonia. Kilk could be another really potential driver who could surprise, and I mean he's had some solid pace in that Red Archer so far, so could be very interesting to see how he goes here. A lot of teams and drivers deciding not to upgrade their cars, of course, for Montreal. Only 5 teams have brought upgrades, I believe, out of the 12 for this race, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out as well. Not many upgrades going on, and the threat of rain ever present, about 50% throughout the entire race, but looking at the skies ahead, I don't see a single cloud, but that could change come the race. Always the threat of rain spices things up. And I'm sure Montreal is going to do no different. Of course, Montreal has a lot of challenges in its own right as a circuit. You've got the Wall of Champions at the end of the circuit, which is not going to be the most infamous, but even all of the chicanes. You've got the 3-4, which is difficult, 8-9, which can be messed up. You've got the hairpins. Lots of difficult places on this track. And of course, the high speed sections are very high speed, so you need a lot of downforce, but you need to be able to balance that with straight line speed as well. Probably why all of the engine manufacturers who have brought upgrades for this race have gone for outright power, so regardless of boost map, and they're going to have a power boost. They want all-round power, they want consistency, and that's what they've got around here. A minute and 55 to go in this session then, so really becoming time up for these drivers. They're going to have a couple of runs here. I've just noticed Van Buren's actually qualifying on the super soft tyre here. So he will start on a different tyre with him being at the back of the grid. He's going to try and go for slightly more longevity in his first stint. Which is interesting because everyone around him is on the ultra soft for maximum speed. With the exception of Gergo Baldi, who is, again, I think one of the back of the grid. So he's going to try and go for more longevity. But everyone else is on the ultra softs. So Van Buren and Baldi might have an interesting strategy play here. Could be a stroke of genius. Have to see if it is, though. A minute and 9 left to go in this session. I don't think Benson Panic's going to get another lap in here. Though it is nice to see Daniel Benefield back in Super League after he retired from Red Archer. I think he's just standing in as a one-off here for Bart de Vos at Kernauer Sport. He's down in 15th at the moment as Benefield, but he's doing an okay job at least. And on his return, you know, we'll be hoping for some points. Upke Hoekstra in at Adonis as well in the number 4 car, I do believe. Subbing in for, he's just smacked the wall there. Subbing in for Scotty Cantonen perhaps, but he is in that number 4 car. Is Hoekstra. Time really though lapsing in this session now, so final chances for drivers to do laps. Final chance for Morris to absolutely go for overall pole, though he won't be too bothered about it. Risto Cappett's really got one more chance to grab pole. All he has to do is go faster than Guy, remember, because Morris has the back of the grid penalty. Jeffrey Fournier in the chat says it's going to be an interesting race with all the good drivers at the back of the grids. It is, Jeffrey. Going to see how they get through the grid, see if they can get through the grid, and see if they can make their way back through, because Montreal not the easiest second to overtake on, but there are opportunities if you're brave enough. I think we'll see some very brave moves from the drivers today, that's for certain. Going to be very interesting to see if there's any brave moves go on between the drivers here at Montreal, because obviously, as I just said, not the easiest second overtake on, but chances can arise, and these cars, these 2017 Super League cars, even more difficult to overtake than 2016 cars, even just with the cars themselves. So you gotta factor that in. Really going to be an interesting race ahead. Guy doesn't improve. What can Rudy Van Buren do? Doesn't improve as well. What does Risto Capet do? Does improve! Past Guy, and that's all he needs. Capet on provisional pole then. David Feidick, possibly the only one who can stop him now, but he'd have a back of the grid anyway, but crashes the final wall there. Right, Kelk maybe could impress, but I don't think he's going to go pole. I think Nick Rowland's short shift and Tobias Olsen with that engine, I doubt will. So really looking like Capet's pole here. See what Kelk can do though. No, he's slowed down. He's aboard of that one. So, Risto Capet is going to be on pole position here at Montreal. That is very well played from him. Morris with the overall fastest lap. But remember, back of the grid penalty to serve. Now, what will that do for the Estonian? Because we know how good he is, but he's not had a pole position this season in Super League. This is his first. And Van Buren, of course, on the softer tyre, but Capet is going to take pole position. David Feidick says take his first lap, 15.884. So he's actually asking for a slower lap here. It's not going to affect much, but He's probably cut on the 777 that he's done, and that's why he's asking to be slower. It is going to be a very interesting race that we have on our hands here. Going to be very, very good to see how this pans out. So Cabot will start pole then. Morris, of course, has the back of the grid. Gaia does not, so it'll be probably Zapanic second. And then we're going to have Lopez third, Franchich fourth, Kilk fifth. So very interesting start we're going to have here. Of course, we're going to go to qualifying soon, and the drivers can set themselves up for the race, get themselves fully acclimatized, but still. Going to be an interesting race here. I commentated on Super Cup the other day, and some of the action was absolutely fantastic. So 70 laps of Montreal should be brilliant. Got a couple of you watching now. We got Jack Mayer coming along as well. Hello to you, Jack. Great to have you along. And Chris Shepard as well. Great to see you watching the stream, of course. And, well, get your friends involved. Get them watching. Show them what they're missing by not being part of these fantastic broadcasts. And the fantastic racing that we have at Super League in the GPVWC. Fantastic series. Really is as realistic as you can get in sim racing. No other top flight Formula Series gets even so much as close with the amount of development you get in Super League. Cars, engines, the whole lot is developed here, so ever-changing atmospheres and scenarios. But from the managerial side, it really is as close to real life as you can get. Chris Shepard's urging Risto Capadon team, get your first win of the season. Come on, Risto. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people wanting Risto to get a win here today. Estonian hasn't had too much to be happy about this Super League season, but I'm sure a win would put him right back into his happy place. Cabot, of course, you know, World GT champion, Masters champion, knows how to sim race, really is one of the most talented racers in GPVWC today. Knows his stuff in a Formula car, and he's not afraid to show it. So all the drivers, of course, will have to start on the qualifying compound, meaning all but two cars are going to start on the Ultra Softs, and those two cars being Gergo Baldi and Van Buren, who are not, they're starting on the Super Soft, so they'll go longer in the first stint. It's going to be very interesting to see how it pans out then, because obviously Van Buren's going to be at the back. He's going to have to pit later. He might just get some serious positions back here. This could be a masterstroke, as it could be from Baldi. Definitely going to be an interesting race to watch this one, because, you know, of the moves that the drivers at the back are going to have to make. But with the threat of rain in the air, with the upgrades that have been had, the Hawkeye situation as well, 8% and 14% engines, and unlike Monaco, that is actually how much wear they've got. Must have missed the engine deadline, but what's going to happen with them? Have to see. Every single team has gone for the three softest tyre compounds for this race. There's no difference there, but for Rudy Van Buren, starting on the Super Softs instead of the Ultra Softs, leading the championship standings, he should be pretty safe. In fact, even if Lee Morris won this race in a DNF, he'd still lead the championship. He is very safe at the moment, but he can afford a slightly worse race here, and starting from the back, you might expect that, but remember, Morris, Baldi, Cabot, all behind in championship contention, chasing each other. It's going to be very, very interesting to watch for sure. I mean, we've got some serious top flight drivers at the back. Chris Shepardson, he's prepared already. Jeffrey Fournier is going to prepare himself by getting some drinks. Well, hope you do enjoy whatever you're drinking then, Jeffrey. Maybe some lemonade, I don't know. Either way, though, I don't think you're going to need much to enjoy Super League. It always puts on some fantastic racing. And, well, I'm sure this race is going to be no exception. Oh, hello, I've just noticed we've been joined by a Mike Pittman. Hello, Mike.
Hiya. Just thought I'd come and say hello. I heard you were a bit lonely. Thought I'd say hello before the race.
It's lovely to have you with us, Mike. Of course, interesting race for you in Vodbull because Rudy Van Buren with the back of the grid penalty, but Risto Kappa going to take pole position here because Morris went fastest, but Risto the fastest in the non-penalty runner. So could this be Kappa's race?
Well, it lines up for him, doesn't it, really? We've got two very different races going to be happening from our point of view. It makes a change. I was going to say it makes a change for us not having a pole, but actually we've got that with the other car instead, so that's nice to keep that run going. But yeah, it's going to be very different strategies, and you know, Risto really has every opportunity. He's more than capable, as we know, to get that win. But don't count out Rudy yet.
Yeah, I mean, Rudy Van Buren can never be counted out. It would be quite something if from the near back of the grid he could come back and win it. But obviously, Risto is going to be at the front for the start of this race. He's going to start from pole position. That's really going to lift his spirits because he's not the best season in the world. He's had a good season, don't get us wrong. But hasn't had a load to smile about this season. But maybe a win here would really help him out.
Yeah, I think the luck hasn't quite been on his side yet. He probably deserves slightly better results than he has had anyway. Which haven't been bad. I mean, he's still sitting fourth in the standings. So Gaia's pace is a little bit surprising that he's back up there again. So we're going to have to monitor him throughout the race by the looks of things. As most other rivals have a back of the grid along with Rudy. So it's going to be a bit topsy-turvy, but going to be a great race.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes. Could be very topsy-turvy indeed. And, well, while we got you, Mike Pittman, just obviously... You actually present a technical little show on SuperNews.tv where you walk us through the interesting technical information. We've already talked about the fact that some of the teams haven't brought upgrades. 7 out of the 12 teams not bringing upgrades yet. But the Hawkeye engine situation, very interesting.
Yeah, that's part and parcel of what, unfortunately, in some ways is great. In the GPVWC, it's as real as it gets. It's such a team effort. It's not just the driver turning up and having the best setup. It is the team game and the upgrade. So a lot of teams upgrade for Monaco. That was just their cycle, and they'll get an upgrade for Silverstone, whereas the teams like myself who upgraded here won't have that for Silverstone. But yeah, the Hawkeye one, when we saw them do that, I think that's a team error from the manager somewhere along the line. But it's not, doesn't mean they're necessarily going to fail. We saw Cooper doing the right thing really and not running that engine in qualifying, and I don't think he's on track now, is he, for free practice now, which makes sense. But he can get to the end. He just needs to keep the revs a little low. He's obviously quite down on power. I think he's going to be the lowest powered car on the field. His teammate Olsen has a little bit more power, and we reckoned 15% was just about doable to drive your race as normal. Very underpowered, but you could drive as normal. He's got 14, so he's not going to have to adapt too much. Whereas Cooper's really going to have to be very careful.
Yeah, going to have to watch the rev limit, going to have to watch how much he pushes the engine, and I'm sure Alex won't be very happy about that because he's a driver who likes to win. Of course, we saw him take a win earlier this season, but going to be very interesting to see how he deals with this race and how Hawkeye deal with this race. Not really what they needed, all things considered, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes for them. And, well...
What it does do is give him a very fresh engine for next round. Effectively, they've used an engine for 4 races, whereas you only need to use it for 3, so... in theory, they've got a benefit further down the line that other teams won't have. But yes, it's going to hurt them tonight.
Yes, this is almost going to be like a bogey race, to be honest. It's just not going to go quite right. But still, if it does go right, then they're going to have something out of it. And, you know, it might not be all terrible for them yet. We'll see how it goes for Hawkeye. Just while we've got you then, one more question for you, Mike. Apart from your own drivers, perhaps, is there anyone who you could look for the win here today?
Wow. Well, I mean, to be honest, like I said before, Gaia's pace has looked pretty good there, and he hasn't got the back of the grid, so he's probably a rival we're looking at. We'll be watching Boldy as well, because he seems to be the only other person to go the same sort of strategy as Rudy so far, sticking on those super softs. So I'll be watching out for him. And Fidek's pace was pretty good on the Ultras as well, must be said, although he has got the back of the grid with us. So there's going to be quite a lot coming through the field. But if I had to tip anyone, I think, you know, obviously I have confidence in my own drivers. But yeah, you're probably looking at the Nordgen as being the direct rival.
Yeah, direct rival, perhaps Nordgen, you know, really just looking to do well here, I think. And, you know, there are a lot of teams that want to do well, I don't think it's good, because it's a very topsy-turvy grid, as we said. You know, a lot of drivers near the back where you're not usually considered the mid-backs. It could be very interesting. Thanks very much for joining us, Mike Pittman. And, of course, you'd be welcome back in the booth anytime you like. But thanks for joining us before the race.
No worries, have a good one. And, yeah, hopefully I might be able to catch you later on.
Hopefully you will, thank you. I've just seen Y'all Tynes apparently serving a penalty from a year ago. Wow, okay, so I didn't realise that. So, yeah, Y'all Tynes must have got a penalty in Superleague last year, and he's now going to serve that. So, that's come back to haunt him. So, Tynes going to move further down the order. Of course, the penalty system of GPVWC, you know, if you do get a penalty and you don't compete the next year, then you serve it the year after. So, there you go. You can't escape the penalties here. Going to be very interesting to see how this race goes. I mean, especially with the whole development there. But yes, some very interesting points. Who do you think's going to win? Let us know in the comments. Potential driver, team winners, surprise packages. Who's going to be the first to hit the wall of champions? Well, hopefully no one will hit the wall of champions. But you know, it's a difficult corner, difficult couple of corners. Could be a real interesting one. So, 30 seconds to go till the race then, and, well, apparently the back of the grid is under protest and shouldn't be applied yet for somebody, I don't know. Sorry, the 5th place. But yeah, apparently that's for Lee Morris, but interesting. Well, it should be interesting because, of course, we have protest tokens this year. We can appeal decisions, but yeah, maybe slight difference in the grid here for Lee Morris, but yeah, either way, going to be interesting to see how this goes. The race, that is, and yeah. Yeah, just a little bit of confusion going on about the grid all at the moment, but I'm sure that's going to be sorted out and fixed until we actually get the race started. But yeah, of course, race director Chris Williamson will tell the drivers their usual stuff about being careful and that, give them the usual little pre-race heads up. Any specific, track-specific inquiries, of course, usually get notified there. Montreal, I think, a pretty standard sort of fare, though not really going to be much, but could be interesting to see how this goes. And, well, of course, I have no idea who's going to win this because of the topsy-turvy grid. But obviously, let us know in the comments, anyone who's interested, who's your pick for the race win? Might read some of them out in the race. Oh, I see Morris has just been bumped back up. Yeah, so there must have been a slight position error there, but yeah. There we go. So Morris has been moved further up the order. Chris Williamson, you know, very kindly doing that and moving the positions to the right places. So everyone's where they should be. Chris is only human. I mean, everyone makes mistakes. I make more mistakes than most people, but I don't want to think how I'd do as a race director. I'd probably forget that the start was supposed to happen. It was like, oh, hang on, why are we still on 5 red lights? I'm missing something. Oh, snap, we've got to go to green. Well, could be interesting to see how this all pans out. Oh, Mike Pittman appears to be back with us once again. Well, it's great to have you back, Mike. And he's gone. Well, that was a shame. Stop teasing us. Hey dear. People these days, honestly, they get us all excited and then they tell me nope. So, yeah. Well, maybe no Mike Pittman, but he still got me. Going to be commentating through the Super League race today, which is always a good thing. If you like me, that is. If you don't, then maybe it's not such a good thing, but I aim to please. Of course, drivers are going to be starting on the qualifying compound. Only 2 cars not starting on the Ultra Soft. So those will be the cars that go longer in the first stint. 2 or 3 dry compounds that have been selected by the teams must be used in the race. So if there is rain, that means that probably won't apply. If it's declared wet, there is the threat about, but there's not really been many clouds. So it could happen. It could happen, but not likely, I'd say. I'd kind of work on the fact there's going to be, work on the assumption there won't be. Then if it is, I can get super excited about it. In true Anderson fashion. Interesting to see how this goes, though. So here we go then, cars grinning up, 60 seconds till the race starts, and while Montreal is about to meet Superleague, and I'm sure that it is going to be a fantastic show to watch. Drivers making the final pre-race preparations now, worrying about what they should do, what fuel load they should carry, how many stops they're going to make, mentally preparing themselves, and all the things that come with a race start. Wonder what's going through their heads right now in the cases of individual drivers. For Daniel Benefield, who's coming back to Super League. For the likes of Menno Clont in 13th for Storm Racing Team. For Risto Cabot, who's going to start from pole. From David Franchich, who's in 5th place. I wonder what is going through their heads. Well, I may never know that, but what we do know is that the race is about to get underway here in Montreal, Canada. And as the single red light on the grid goes out, we are off on the formation lap. And it will be Risto Cabot with his first pole position of the season. Now, this is going to be a crucial race for the Estonian. Hasn't had the best season. Can he finally get a win in 2017? We've seen how capable he is in Super League. Obviously champions so far this season, but in Super League, yet to win. Can he change that here today? Gaia behind, though, in the Nordstjen. This time around, it's fighting with the back of the grid penalty. So will the German shine in Canada? Ben Stepanek, Fran Lopez, David Franchich, all potential surprise packages. Lopez has not really had the season he wanted at all. Will this be the Spaniard's race? We know how talented he is, but Adonis and him have not had a lot to shout about in 2017. Thomas Hinds in 7th, Ray Kilken 6th, with 2 Red Archers in the top 7. We know how good Hinds is. If the situations go his way, he could find himself in a very good place. Whoopi Hoekstra 8th. And it's Olsen, Benefield, Horrell, Jacobs. Tom Jacobs 12th in the Woods is fantastic. Great driver. But again, Woods, another one of the teams who it's not been going well for. Clont, Morris, Van Buren, Fidek. We're starting to see back of the grid runners. Morris is the first of them. Menno Clont in 13th in the Storm will be looking to have a respectable result. Morris, Van Buren, Fidek, Baldy up for start, though. It's going to be very interesting to see. These guys used to starting in the higher echelons of the grid, not the bottom half. Yartai in 18th, Gerrit de Vries 19th, Alex Cooper, Nick Rowland as well. The whole Hawkeye scenario is going to be interesting. We don't see the Olsen 9th, and obviously in the orders we mentioned, but Cooper 20th, both cars with very, very worn engines, possibly due to an error by Hawkeye team management. It's going to be very interesting to see how they go. I don't imagine Olsen will have much power at all. Rowland picking up the back of the grid. Very capable, but from 21st is going to be a struggle in a car that's as undeveloped as that Madcape. I honestly think Risto Cabot is going to be the victorious driver coming out of this race. I just feel like pole is what Risto needs to get himself a win here. But we'll see how the race actually pans out come the end of it. Nick Rowland will be the final car to line up as we get ready to go racing in Montreal, Canada. Just pulling into his pit box now, and now we wait for the magic moment where the lights illuminate. They're coming on now. We have 3, we have 4, we have 5, and round 7 of the Super League is off and away. It looks to be a good enough start from Cabot by the looks of things. He seems to have got a good start. Guy around the outside trying to catch him. Now that becomes the inside zone coming to turn 2. It looks like a big overshoot from Daniel Benefield, but he's managed to hold on to it. Rowland and Fidek have problems in the back though. What happened to David Fidek? He spun. Problems from the start from the reigning champion. He just seemed like, he got caught up, and I think Rowland went into the back of him. Strung up there, but that's not going to help him. Problems there was, more contact near the midfield. Benefield and Kilgo must have it coming together. Clown as well, that's a K now off. That, I believe, is Daniel Benefield, who's had it coming together with the wall there. Hins and Van Buren. Van Buren's on the charge already to 11th. Look at Rudy go. Fantastic start from the Dutchman. That's exactly what he needed. He's on an absolute flyer. He's gone from where he was to where he is now. Oh, Hins around the outside looking for a cheeky overtake. Not going to work, Thomas. Lee Morris on the charge as well into 11th now. Chasing down Van Buren. Bristol Cabot, though, still leading as they come to win the first lap. And to come through the final two turns, Bristol Cabot will lead a lap in Super League this year. Will he lead all of them in this race? That's the question. Zapanic, Lopez, Frančić behind. All chasing. Van Buren up to top 10 after just one lap. Morris 11th, Horrell 12th. Baldy's not had the best of starts. He's still 14th, Ty in 15th, Cooper 17th. Vidic starting to make moves. He's in 19th place, but not really that high up the order. Van Buren and Klon though. Let's look at Van Buren, who's charging up the order. He's with absolutely no quarter given whatsoever. Olsen and Kilk ahead of battling, but this is exactly the start that Van Buren wanted. But it's not the start that Bristol Cabot wanted. Gaia starting to catch him at the lead. This could be a very interesting battle. This could be brilliant. Gaia and Cabot for the lead of this race, perhaps. Look how close he is, but he's overshot that. Not going to get as good as exit as Resto, but... Oh, Kilk and Olsen really in this train at the moment. 7th to 11th, and then 12th and 13th. Big battles going on here. Van Buren, Morris, close. Azar, Klont, Kilk, Olsen. Randall Klont's going to have a great draft on right. Kilk down the inside of the final 10. Doesn't go for it. Van Buren doesn't go for it. Morris can't get enough speed to go for it. This whole train from 7th backwards is really good. Van Buren can't look down the inside of this turn. He can't. Oh, he can't do this, can he? Not 2 in a turn 1. Oh, no. Van Buren round. Hit there. That's gone terribly wrong. Oh, Rudy Van Buren. Well, that was destined for problems there. And, oh, it just looked like Klon came over too much. Hit Van Buren. Tipped him around. He's not going to be a happy Dutchman, but that's the problem when he started at the back. Oh, with tying out breaks Hins ahead of Van Buren, and now Rudy on the charge. Oh, he's contact again with Hins. Really not going Rudy's way here. Won't be happy about that. But he's through into 14th. Cabot, though, has been overtaken for the lead. He's gone out of the lead. Gaia into P1. That is crucial for him. And Nordstjen now leading this race by some considerable distance. Spencer Panic is starting to want to make inroads on Cabot here, but Gaia into the lead. That is going to be potentially a crucial move this race. That could be very, very important. Movement further back, Lee Morris, I just see he's gone into 8th place and he's having a bit of a battle with the whole cars behind him. Menno Klont moving around as well. But Gaia really showing his stuff here at the start of this race, getting himself into the lead, staying there as well. Really what he needed. I lost to Thomas Jacobs, unfortunately. That is a shame because Jacobs was doing great. Well, he was doing great, and then unfortunately problems. We ran into 21st and now out. Jack Mayer says Van Buren still has to be one of the favourites to win, even in 15th. I would not put it past him, but that has not been the start he wants. Says, oh, I think a bit of, oh, it's still battling it out here. It's got the all time for company now. Really needs to worry about your time because Tyan very, very capable of driving. Kilk and Morris, though, this whole 7th place battle could be very interesting indeed. As I just seen a bit of gravel there. I don't know who went off, but smoke there. Lee Morris into turn 1 on right Kilk, and he gets through nice and easily. Says Lee Morris into P1. Oh, bit of contact from Kilk on the exit. That's not pushing a bit right there. Right one's through, but there's no space. Klon into the pits. after just 4 laps. And that is because he's got no front wing, taking damage. That's not good for Menno. It's going to hurt his chances. Really not going to help him out. Nick Rowland goes up in away team as a result, but Gaia still really starting to command a lead from Capit, from Zapanic, from Lopez, from Francic. On lap 5. I don't know what happened to get Klomp the damage there. I don't know how we sustained it. But oh no, I think he went in the back of one of the red archers under braking for the final turn, and that's how that happened. But oh, that is a shame for Klont. Car's starting to space out now, but Van Buren's up in the 10th again, followed by Ty and followed by Olsen. Remember, Tobias Olsen will be struggling with overall power this race because that one engine, but Tyan and Van Buren could be interesting if y'all can just keep on the back of the Dutchman. Zapanic and Capit, though, this looks to be getting closer. Closer and battle. Could be interesting. Benz and Risto, of course, we know how good they are. Risto, of course, Master Champion, World GT Champion. One of the best drivers so far in GPVWC this year when it comes to closed wheel competition, but in the open wheelhouse here in Superleague, he's just not quite had the same look. Zapanic, though, really giving him chase here, and from pole, Capit's gone down a second. Gaia, though, really has stormed ahead. His pace has looked good all weekend, and now he could be on for a win in Superleague in 2017. This could be really good from Benz and from Florian if they can get good results here. Lopez and Francic, though. David Francic is going to get a toe on Fran Lopez. Going to possibly look down the inside at the final turn. DRS helped him, but Lopez gets the braking. Oh, that helps the curb. Oh, and Francic clips him on the exit. That's not going to help him at all, and doesn't get the position back, but he does have DRS. Well, Fran Lopez hopped the curb there and then got a compromised exit. Francic went into him and that didn't help him, but Lopez doing okay in 4th at the moment. Not had a lot of shout about this season, but this is alright so far from the Spaniard. Francic is not letting up though on him. He's still giving him pure chase here. He's just wanting this 4th place, and it's not happening for him yet, but potentially could go through. Street Fighter, of course, first year in Super League, and they're making the most of it. Oh, Lopez put his car just in the right place, and Francic forced to yield. This is just going to help Lee Morris, though, who's catching up behind, and Morris has had a storm at the start of this race. I believe first of the back of the grid runners, and definitely taking a claim to this place. He actually goes on the inside there, thinking he's going to get the place, but a bit too far back, I believe. Francic will have DRS on Lopez, but Morris has DRS on both of them. Not going to catch up to Francic, but Francic gets past him. Lopez goes on the outside of the final turn. Oh, get held up. Morris down the inside of Francic now. Is this the moment? He's going to pull over. He's going to try and use the draft from Lopez as much as he can. Outbreaks Francic into turn 1. Morris aims a full fit. Gets close to Francic, but that was avoided nicely. And now Lee Morris can have a crack at Fran Lopez. He's 10 seconds behind Florian Gaia. We could still see battles for the lead. This is not over. Morris could find himself with a race win on his hands if he can catch Gaia, but Gaia still the favourite so far. Benefield in the pits from 17th down to 18th now. But Lee Morris, really, this is what he needed. A good start. He's going to get that Madcap up where it needs to be. Really, really doing a good job at the moment. Probably outperforming that car. It's one of the worst cars on the grid, but he's making wonders happen with it. But it's at this point in the season where, you know, lack of development is really going to start to hit you. Oh, he tried on the inside of Lopez again at Lepingo, but it's not going to work. Will it go into the final turn, though? You imagine with that gap, it's going to be over before it's even started. Look at this. It's just so much speed differential. Lopez must have got a bad exit. Going to tuck in behind Morris, but it won't be enough. Zapanic in from 3rd, though. First of the high profile. There's the pit. Morris goes. Oh, he messes that final chicane up. And Morris now concedes a place. Franjic wants to have a goal too. Not going to get through though. Morris back down the inside of Lopez. Lopez holds the line. Morris on the outside of two. Doesn't work though. That was brave from Lane Morris, but it didn't quite get the line. And he's going to have to pay for that one because he's not gotten through and he's lost time there. Franjic has tugged onto the back of him and now he's defending and attacking at the same time. Not easy work. There's a panic though in after just 7 laps on those ultra soft tyres, so we should see cars starting to pit now. Oh, Morris is not going to go around 8 and 9, is he? No, Lopez shuts the door. Franjic though, look how close he is. He's just tagging on the back of Morris here. He's not going to make life easy for Franjic, but the Croatian will not be deterred. And look at Baldy! Baldy wants to do as well. This is a 4-car battle for 3rd place. And Baldy through on Franjic. Contact with Lopez, pushing him to the outside of the track. Baldy looking for every inch he can get. No, nothing going though. Franjic can't get past here. He's just going to lift off. Baldy breaks into the final turn and gets it. Lopez forced to cut. Hits the Andy Cutton. Goes airtight. Van Buren and Franjic in, as is Morris. Cabot in 2. Decides now's the time. On to Ultra Softs. Van Buren in. What's Van Buren going to go to? I imagine stay on the Super Softs. Sorry, that is what Cabot's on now as well. The Supers. Morris on Supers. Ty stays on Ultras. Whoopke Hoekstra in. So now is the time evident. Oh, Whoopke Hoekstra actually had a break there and get out of the way. But yeah, Whoopke going to stay, I think, maybe change tyre. No, he's not actually stopped. Roland though on the soft tyres at the moment. Oh, well, this is close between... Oh, look at this, Cabot! Wow, that was something special there from Mr. Cabot. I just caught the back end of it, but he went 3 wide into the 8-9 complex. Inside car, got them both. That's how you take Kiltanen off. The Panic and Fidek go through. Fidek is actually really making the most of this at the moment. Hasn't pitted yet, I believe, but up to 5th. Doing a good job. Geyer in though from the lead. So what's going to happen here? Is Baldy going to team the lead here? Geyer in the final box comes in onto Super Softs. Baldy, I think, is just going to... Oh, this is going to be close. I think he's just going to pit him though. Yeah, Baldy, I think, is going to get it. Or is he? Because this pit lane means that you don't do the first chicane. Oh, Geyer is just out in front. Just pipped him. And Baldy, thrown off by that, got a slide on. That's going to throw him into the clutches of Cabot. Fidek, Lopez, Kilk. All in, as is Cooper. This is going to be a really interesting one now. Well played from Geyer to get out in front of Baldy. That was crucial because Gergo Baldy, remember, one of the people who started on the Ultra Softs. So he'll be going longer. Those tyres will be older. And Geyer out in front of him is crucial because he has clear track and he can just break away. Cabot, though, stuck behind Baldy, so he'll have to overtake. That's going to cost him time. It's not going to help him. Really could be a good one, this. Cabot, though, going to go for Baldy now. DRS engaged. He's got the speed differential, got the advantage. 15 going to pass 30. Half the number, but double the speed pretty much for Cabot. He goes straight through. No problems there. Baldy down to 3rd. Cabot up to 2nd and now chasing Geyer. Morris in again. Or is this the first pit for Morris? Might be the first pit, but I thought he was on Ultras. Start. So he's come in. And Morris is going to stay. Nope, this must just be a changeover. Might be mistaken on that one. Spies Olsen up to 6th place. Great because of the engine situation, but David Franjic, look at the speed differential on the brake and closes right up. Franjic giving serious threat here. He wants through and he wants through now. Lopez, oh, went for tying, both go off. And now Lopez, oh, he's going to force him down the inside here. There's little track room given as possible between Tyne and Lopez here. And oh, contact and now Fidek. Fidek made contact to Kilk. Kilk wants through as well. Oh, Kilk doesn't have the room, but Friday does some good defending there. Tyan and Lopez, though, tries to always say did. Has he just done it? No, Tyan just tried to sell Fry Lopez a dummy, and I think it worked. Through in the 8 and 9. Lopez will not be happy about that. He's going to dive down the pingle. Yo, Tyan going to turn in. Lopez going to get the back out. Lopez gets the players back. Huge train from 6 to 11 here. 12 including Cooper. Hold on to your hats because this one could get hairy, ladies and gentlemen. Lopez going to have the DRS on Olsen. To everyone has DRS. It's ineffective. Lopez, Tyan still battling. In between this whole sandwich here. Fidek perfectly poised to take advantage if it ends in tears. Tyan's going to dive down into one. Lopez. Oh, I think Tyan may have pushed Lopez to the inside. Oh, narrow avoids. Olsen, contact with Tyan. Fidek's going to go through. This is what he needed. Oh, he just... Tyan breaks himself again, goes off. Oh, loses it. Well, that's gone badly for all Tyan. He lost it on the re-entry. That's hurt. That is hurt, and he's lost his front wing. Well, David Fidek perfectly poised there to take advantage of that. Narrowly missed it. How he missed that is beyond me, but Fidek into 9th. Well, that was a bit of a weird battle going on there, but nonetheless, Lopez going to be given a bit of breathing room now. Baldy in the pits though from P3, so Gergel Baldy here, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes for Gergel this race. Now only pitting after 12-13 laps onto the Ultra Softs. Interesting, he's gone reverse here. He started on the Supers and gone on the others rather than starting on the others and going on the Supers. Very interesting, maybe he wants to make some more time back up. I'm interested to see how he does that though. Horrell out with suspension problems, probably had a crash and has stuffed it, that's why. So easy to do. I do not blame him. May have had problems with the car. Oh, I think, yeah, he may have had a collision with somebody, but I didn't quite see what happened there. Fidek though chasing Olsen. Position number 8 here. Giving really hard pressure on. Oh, look at that! Kilk! Well, that's not space race doesn't want to get past. Right, Kilk going to 9th place. Fair play to him. Fidek would have expected that. I certainly didn't. Alex Cooper got the perfect viewpoint, but Fidek can't make inroads. Just yet, at least. It is a bit of a Red Archer and Nolsgen sandwich at the moment. With Hawkeye, Braid making it up. Kilk on the outside of the pingle there. Oh, bit of contact with Olsen. Oh, that's not going well for Right Kilk, but Fidek's going to have a great run now in that Nolsgen car. Gonna hit the throttle, he'll have the DRS, but so will Right Kilk. Kilk can't move over too much here. Oh, right. Oh, well, Fidek had to lift off. Oh, no contact. Contact between the Hawkeye and the Red Archer. It's gone badly. Fidek, though. Oh, narrowly avoids Kilk on the re-entry. Through into 9th, though. Olsen came off very well from that. Very, very lucky indeed. Right Kilk will not be a happy chappy, though. It looked to me like, well, Wright had to move to the outside, and oh, I think he just came over. Did he come over a bit too soon, or was Olsen? Oh, that was marginal. That was marginal, but Fidek is going to get himself potentially a run on Olsen here. Van Buren's a panic, looking good. Capit under, I think Capit has actually just lapped Menno Klont there. So, Menno Klont being lapped now. For this battle for 10th, 9th, and 8th. Looking great. Fidek past Olsen. Nicely done there. Kilk one's past Olsen too. Wants to get past him. Fidek clashes with the wall there. Not too much damage, I think, sustained. Kilk breaks. Wants to try and get through here. Oh, right into the back of Olsen. That's going to hurt in the morning. And Cooper might be actually be able to take advantage here. He's going to have the DRS. And this could be crucial for Cooper. Remember, only about 8% on that engine. So he's going to need this DRS, but look, even with the DRS, Kilk has it. Well, Kilk may have had it too, so he's not going to really benefit. Hin's perfectly placed here. It's Hawkeye, Red Archer, Hawkeye, Red Archer, 9 to 12. 2 battles going on here. Cooper can't get around the outside. Hin's can't get around the outside. Neither really working here. Neither move, that is. Olsen kill. Cooper Hens all giving it a go at each other. Cracking racing this. But really, Florian Gaia has just had the chance to run away with it. 3.3 seconds ahead of Capet. Capet 7 seconds ahead is a panic. These two, the real favourites for the win, but Van Buren, don't count him out. He may be 10 seconds down, but he's 4th place. Chasing Zapanic. He's still as likely as anyone. Down the inside is Zapanic there. May just be differential. Nicely done from Rudy and into the top 3. Really starting to cement his authority as well. This race is far from over, but already we're seeing some fantastic narratives forming. Really fantastic stuff here at Montreal. Looking like a good race to me. But still, going to be very interesting to see how this continues to pan out. Fastest lap of the race so far, I believe, is currently actually home to Gergo Baldy, who's on a 1:17.5. Gaia's last lap was an 18.8. Cabot's an 18.8 as well. Van Buren's an 18.9. These three really matching each other at the moment. So if it stays how it is, Gaia will win. And that will be probably very, very motivating for the German, because he loves winning, does Florian Gaia. And I'm sure a win here would mean a lot for him. Would be a brilliant win if he got it. Van Buren, though, is actually looking to be dropping off the pace overall of Gaia. I'll keep an eye on those lap times, though his second sector was half a second down on Gaia's this lap. His first sector, sorry, it was only 0.1 down, and his first was 0.1 down as well. I'm looking at the car behind, that's Ben Sapanic, which again really shows the speed difference between Gaia and Sapanic. But yeah, last lap from Gaia at 1:18.2, 1:18.9 rather. Last lap from Van Buren, 1:19 dead. Slight pace loss from Van Buren on Gaia then. Though over the course of a race, Van Buren can never be counted out. That's the thing, we've seen that this season. We've seen that. Never count out Rudy Van Buren. Tobias Olsen in from 12th. Got a lovely battle form and actually here for 6th place. Frančić and Lopez and Fidek. This could be an interesting one. Lopez, of course, involved in that, coming together with Jarl before. Now chasing down Frančić, but the more they battle, the more David Fidek can catch up. And in these open wheelers, David Fidek, very, very good with his consistency. Hasn't had the best season so far, but still, second in Monaco. Maybe the start of something like a comeback. It could be. We don't call him Mr. Consistency for nothing. And there is a good reason why he's had so much success in Super League. He's so talented. He can make the use of his machinery. And really showing at Monaco why he is the current Super League World Drivers Champion. Now, here in Montreal, he's going to show it by getting himself up that order. Of course, won the title in 2014, won it again in 2016. And, well, first driver to win it with 2 different teams as well, I believe. So, a bit of history for Fidek there. Had a record of about 50 consecutive race finishes as well. Point scoring finishes. Never been out of the points. Didn't DNF until this year in Super League. Ultra consistent as Fidek. Always a threat. You can never write him out of a race either. Lopez under threat from Fidek now. And he knows it. He can see that notion in his rear view mirrors. And he's probably going to be starting to feel the pressure from Fidek behind. He's looking into 8 and 9. It's not going to work though. Oh, bit of a lock-up from Lopez, but this is just going to help Fidek. Got Anatoly Haranovic in the chat saying hello, as well as Jimmy Allison. Both hope you're enjoying the race. Great to have you both here. I'm sure David Frančić would not like the fact that Fran Lopez is behind him though. Lopez is going to have DRS on Frančić here. Going to give him some serious speed, but not enough. He's pretty much maxing that engine out. Oh, so close into braking. does not like the look of this at all. I bet Frančić got a little bit scared there, but doing a okay job. Van Buren, though, I think really his job is just going to be putting the laps in, trying to get closer to Gaia and out strategy and perhaps, but he's losing time to the German. Really the form man at the moment following Gaia in this race. Last lap was half a second faster than Van Buren's and 3/10 quicker than Cabot's. Might it be a German victory in Montreal? We'll have to see. We will have to see as we're about 27% through this race. Lap 20 of 70. Still a long way to go. Anything can still happen. So don't rule it out. T3 for Vodball, though, definitely a strong showing from the Liverpudlian outfit. Really with a stranglehold on the championship this year. Van Buren in. Van Buren in from third. Now, this is going to be interesting to see what tyres he goes on to here. I imagine it'll be more super softs, but it could be something else. Let's see what he goes on to. He pulls in now onto the jacks. He does stay on the super softs as he anticipated. Baldy into panic now for third as a result of that pit from Van Buren. This is a close run battle as well. Baldy from the back has really charged up the order. Doing well on those ultra softs at the moment. Really keeping his toes in the water, so to speak. Knows how to handle these open wheelers and, well, keeping a full throttle approach to things here is Gego Baldy. No, he's going down the inside of it and 9. We've seen this a couple of times. It's gone wrong. Collides with some panic. And he stays ahead. Well, he did. Oh, that was a bit of a weird one. Baldy, he lost it. He went in, Baldy, I don't think it's a panic, or was the panic turned into, that is going to be one for the disciplinary committee, but Baldy stayed ahead into third by hook or by crook. He'll take what he can get. Cabot into second. Gaia still out, though. And Cabot into the pits, obviously. Now, what would he do here? Staying on the ultras? Yep, he is. Sorry, he's on the supers. And Baldy is going to be close, but remember, he has the advantage on the exit. Because he doesn't have to do the first chicane. Baldy does. And Cabot will go through into the higher position, but it's going to be so close, this battle between the two of them. There's a panic in. Coming out of the pits now. Again, will probably come out ahead of Fidek. Probably going to come out of there. Lopez. Going to be very close, but he's just gone ahead indeed. And look how close. He just slots in just in front. 5, 6, and 7 close. Cabot already starting to drop. Baldy. Those tyres will be getting old now. Gaia with 17 full seconds to restore Cabot now. Really asserting his authority here on this race. Really doing a good job of things at the moment. And he's in the pits now. He'll probably, most certainly, have enough time to get out ahead of Cabot. He's in the pits and he'll be coming out shortly after. Restore Cabot into the final couple of corners. Clips 1, clips 2. Gaia is up on the jacks. He's down off the jacks. And he will exit ahead of Cabot because Cabot's coming across the start finish. Gaia's ahead of him, but Gaia doesn't have to do the first chicane, remember. Straight through, and he's ahead, but he's only ahead by about a couple of seconds. So he needs to outpace Cabot here. He can't be lenient. Van Buren as well. Only a couple of seconds behind Cabot, so can't be lenient there either because he's really come back into it. Hins up to 6 as well. And, well, Alex Cooper, we talked about the engine in that Hawkeye car. It seems to have given out. It does not want to make the end of this race. He's made 30% of it, but it has blown. And Alex Cooper out of the race. Well, we can't say it. We might not have expected that, but he has retired from the race. I think to get that far on an 8% engine, though, that took some doing. Fair play to Cooper for trying anyway. He did a good job, and you can't help but commend him for what he did. Gaia, though, and Capet are still close together here. Over the line, the gap, 1 1/3 seconds, 1.3. So, not really going anywhere, and that's not what Gaia wants. He wants to be further ahead than this. Wants to be further ahead than where he is. Van Buren, I don't know, really making much headway either. Last lap from Van Buren was a 1:17.3, and of course Guy came out the pits. Personal best from Capadon on 1:17.6, so he's starting to find form as we welcome Mike Pittman back into the chat. Mike, we're still starting to get the hang of these tyres. Oh, I don't think... Mike, you are there? I don't think we've got Mike. Maybe having a couple of problems. We'll come back to him in just a second. But, yeah, either way, Bristol Capets having a handle on these tyres at the moment. Really doing a good job of them trying to catch up to Guy, but he's dropped 0.3 of a second so far this lap. That's not good for him. Drops them in mostly, I think, the second sector so far this lap. Gaia really on fire at the moment. Might full well be a German victory in Montreal yet. As though I think we have Mike Pittman back with us now. Hello, Mike. At least his microphone's unmuted according to my screen here. So we should have him with us. Oh, we know he has gone. Well, he's teased us again as Thomas Hin's pits. Into the pits for the Aussie then. He's had a good race so far. Had a very good race. 6th place for car number 6. Goes down to 7th, 9th though. As cars behind him go by. Doing a good job. I think this is Mike Pittman though, isn't it? This has got to be him now. Come on. Speak to us, Mike. You're there. We know you're there. It doesn't seem to be working. Again. Well, that is a shame, unfortunately, that we can't speak to him, but yeah. That's not hopefully we'll be able to get him back with us. We're to have Cameron Brewster along with us as well. Think all is fine, technically Cam, but yeah, everything's going fine. Jack Mayer says Hawkeye to use Honda engines versus 2017 season. I think not, Jack. I think not. I think our Superleague engines are better than that. Either way, though, Florian Gaia really showing the power of that Martex engine at the moment and doing a very good job of it in that lead of the race. Van Buren and Capet, 2nd and 3rd, still at the moment going very, very strongly. Now, is this Mike Pittman? I hope it is.
Any better?
Yes, it is! He lives, he breathes! It's Mike Pittman back with us again! Yay! Yeah, you got your stuff working. Fantastic, Mike. Great to have you with us back. So, as we were saying, Bristol Capet, he's almost got a handle on Florian Gaia, save for the time he's losing.
Yeah, we're there or thereabouts. It's very much matching the lap times almost. Goodness knows how this is going to end up, really. We're quite confident still in our strategy, but it's closer than we'd probably have liked.
Yeah, it's a very close run race at the moment. 1.8 seconds to Florian Gaia, Bristol Capet, and then Rudy Van Buren 4 seconds down the road. If Rudy catches Bristol, will there be any team orders, or will they be allowed to race it out?
Oh no, they race it out. There's no issues there. The only team order they got is don't hit each other.
Yeah, that's the only order of the day. Don't hit each other. 4 seconds in it, so we might see the two Vodballs battle it out. But yeah, Bristol Capet potentially could still be on for this win, and for Bristol that would mean a lot, of course. For Rudy, all things considered, I think this would be a brilliant win if he could pull it off. Yeah,
to get him back up in contention was the big thing. It was a massive risk off the start, and being in, as we saw already, I mean, we could be further up if he hadn't had the spin with Menno. So you take that into account, that's probably another 15 seconds or so lost. Yeah, more time lost there. But yeah, Francic and Friday battling it out. So you got Valiant Power all up and down the field. Of course, powering pretty much half the cars this season, or more on the car market. But yeah, Francic in the Street Fighter car doing very well as well, although he just collides with the wall there as he's chasing David Friedrich, and
Yeah, Street Fighter Racing Systems, you know, a Valiant-powered team, so it must be good to see so many Valiant-powered teams doing well here at Montreal.
Oh, it always is. Of course, we've got Sapanic there in the Kerno as well in our engine power. Yeah, it's always nice to see that these teams, if we can't win, we'd like them to be able to win. You know, they use the same engine unit as we do. You can see from the sort of stat times of some of the power, the top speed of some of these cars that, although a lot of it is set up as well, you know, a lot of the engines do help that with ourselves, and we don't supply Hawkeye.
Yeah, I mean, that was unfortunate for them to blow up, but yeah, that is obviously an unfortunate thing for them to happen. They will be sad that Cooper's race is done, but still, live and learn, I guess. You know, they'll know not to put 8% engines in the cars next time.
Yeah, I mean, respect to Cooper for giving it a go. You know, he's obviously tried his best there to see what he could do with the car in that state. I mean, you know, it's a massive disadvantage to start with, isn't it, at 8%? But, you know, he turned up and gave it a good go, so respect to him and the team for trying to make the most of a bad situation, I suppose.
Yeah, he's got heart for that, you know, just coming up and giving it a go regardless of the situation. Thanks for joining us, Mike Pittman. Hopefully we'll have you later in the race too.
Of course, yep. Grab me again.
Will do. So, the whole Van Buren Cabot thing, still roughly about the similar sort of distance. I think Van Buren is actually catching Cabot here, but Cabot not catching Gaia with 40% of the race done. Almost at half race distance then, but not quite yet. Still going. Cabot and Van Buren could be an interesting battle indeed. We've not seen them in a straight fight this season. Will this be the first time we do? That could be very, very good for him and for the viewers. Well, Gaia would love them to battle it out because that'll slow them down, but I think for Risto, really, the gap is just going to be, you know, the main idea for Risto is just going to be nice and keep it simple, you know? Don't try too hard and, well, maybe with Rudy to try not to battle, you know, see how that goes, but yeah. Morrison Frančić very close for 7th at the moment. David Frančić, of course, we mentioned, you know, doing very well in that Street Fighter at the moment, having a good race. Got to defend from Lee Morris, though, in that Mad Cape car, really pulling that car up the order here. You know, it's one of the worst on the grid, but, you know, he's doing a good job of it. Yeah, maybe not hitting him as much as, you know, it might have done, but, you know, at this point of the season, this is where if you're not one of us develops a car, it's going to hit you, and Morris may be down in 8th, starting to feel the effects of that. Though, you know, he's had some great races this season so far and cannot be counted out as some good places. He's got the DRS on Frančić here, but he's not quite going to get through. And, well, no, he's not going to get it here, but DRS again. Right, Kilk Pits from 9th. Red Archer car in then. Morris can't go into turn 1. He doesn't have the leverage. Morris still chasing down, but not getting through yet. You're going to have to work for it. Looking further down the order, though, I'm just looking to see how many other nights we've got. Not much in the way of actual long track battles, but shout out to Fran Lopez. Trying to make his way back up the order, I feel. 10th place, but working on that. Frančić and Fidek, well, sorry, Frančić and Fidek aren't that far away in the grand scheme of things. Morris and Frančić could be an interesting battle down the back straight. As they've got a green stripes going off ahead of them. That might be Gerrit de Vries. In fact, it will be. He's the only one going, but Van Buren in from 4th. So, here we go. Rudy, well, out of the pits, rather. I missed his pit stop, but he's come in. Baldy's gotten past him. And that's going to be crucial for him, because otherwise, well, he would have been stuck behind Van Buren on fresh tyres, and he would have used his maul. Morris in from 8th. deciding to come in now was starting to form over turn 1 here. Could we have rain? Very, very localized at the moment though, so it is starting to darken up, but very localized cloud forming over turn 1. Remember, I said the threat was there all race, so it could happen. Down the back end of the track as well, looks to be clouding over quite significantly. This could throw everything up in the air. Florian Gaia in the pits. The race leader then, Crystal Cabot, will go through into first. But Cabot still has to pit, so maybe Gaia going for the undercut here onto a new set of Supers. We're still though in the lead of this race. And that is going to be interesting for him. He's back in the lead. Gaia out in second, Van Buren a couple of seconds down the road. Could it be the right call though? That's the question. But, you know, if there is going to be rain, it would have to start late for Gaia, now for Cabot. That's the thing. Van Buren might be partial to a bit of a downpour at the moment. Really, though, if it's going to happen, it's got to happen soon because, well, for 44% of the race and it's clouding over quickly, so you'd imagine that's would bring it over soon. You can see significantly darker in that first couple of corners. The clouding really starting to come over. Wind heading in a west-southwest direction. So that's the direction that the wind is blowing. Got a lovely battle forming up. 10th and 11th, Kilk and Lopez. Must be said. I think a good battle here. It'll be interesting indeed to see how this forms up. So close to each other at the moment. Spencer Pan again from 5th, but oh, Lopez and Kilk. Is Kilk going to get him on the inside here? Oh, yes, he is. Perfectly placed into Lipingle. Done by Kilk. Lopez gets oversteer on the exit of that turn. Pushing the engine. As far as it'll go, 14,500 RPM in every gear to the inside. And Kilk overtaken as soon as he got the place. Lopez gets it before the final couple of turns. And straight back into 10th is the Spaniard, but then into 9th because Morris is pitted. Comes out of the pits on Super Softs. I'm interested to think when Risto is going to pit here because he needs to pit before soon. And oh, in fact, is he going here? Now he pits. So Gaia will get the lead back. That much is certain. Van Buren is just at the fastest lap of the race, though. He's that determined. He's just done a 17-1. That is a fantastic lap from Van Buren. He can't match it on the next lap, though. 1:17.2, but still faster than Gaia. Now he's starting to reel the time in. Now he's really giving it the full beans. If ever who's going to cut the cap to Gaia, it would be now. Now is the time for Van Buren to start cutting the gap. Vidic in, Francic in. Whoopie Hoekstra is going to come out of the pits soon. Oh, he's behind Vidic. Francic out too. In 8th at the moment. Morris going to be close, but I think Francic will beat him out. Van Buren, though, just chipping away at this gap bit by bit by bit. His first sector, faster than Gaia's. Oh, he's slower than Gaia's. His second was faster, though, making the time up. I would not be surprised if the gap only came down by 10th a lap. They are so close, these two, at the moment. Van Buren and Gaia. Gaia going to cross the line. He will do a lap time of... I think 1:17.728, and Van Buren gets 17.782. That's how close it is. These two near identical on pace. Gaius really sticking it to Van Buren. Cabot though, 18.9 last lap. Not what he wanted, but only recently came into the pits. Baldy exits this lap too. As we approach half race distance, in fact I think we might already be there. We're on lap 35, so in a lap's time we'll have half the laps done. Really crucial. Jeffrey Forney saying, look at the time Cabot lost by pitting 2 laps later than Van Buren. Yeah, he's now 5 seconds down on his teammate, and that is going to hurt Cabot's chances of a win. Lopez in the pits and coming out 14th at the moment. Gaia though really still favourite for the win, unless Van Buren can pull something magical out of the bag. He was faster in Sector 2, slower in Sector 1, but only by a little bit. Across the line, he is going to gain a little bit more time. That was a fast start lap from Rudy Van Buren by 0.2 of a second. That's what he needs to do. He just needs to chip away. But Cabot sets the fastest lap, 1:17 dead. Bristol Cabot is not out of this. He is still there. He's still fighting. Still having a go. Risto and Rudy, of course, we know they'll battle each other if they catch each other. Going to be so interesting to see how this goes for them. Cabot really, with that last lap, putting the flag out. In fact, he's catching Van Buren on laps. He's 2/10 quicker in Sector 2. Matching his Sector 1. Gaia faster than all of them, though. Can Cabot mount a comeback? That is the question. Be lovely to see if he could. Really got to keep an eye on this lead fight. It could get spicy. Roland and Lopez, though, battling it out for 12th at the moment in actual on-track battle news. And oh, Lopez looks down 4 and 5 here, but it's not going to work. Roland has it under wraps. And then they're 6 and 7. Into 9, the next chance for Lopez. Down the inside. Is he going to go for it? Oh, contact between the two. That's not good. Roland's exit compromised. Lopez through, both on soft tyres. Roland can't lock down the Pingle though. Lopez seems to got it, but then Lopez wide. There goes Nick into 12th, but then Lopez on the exit. Topsy-turvy chase moment, and now he's weaving. He's not happy with Nick Roland by the looks of it. Lopez voicing his displeasure by the wiggling of the car. Almost told Roland, have a go, and he dives down the inside to go to the pits. Ooh, that wasn't very well played from Roland. I mean, well, I think it was probably his best choice, but oh, that could have been a collision. I mean, he had to dive the inside. Lopez couldn't turn in. That would have, if that had been a second later from Roland, that could have ended in disaster. But oh, he's into the pits though. You're tying out though, suspension issues. What happened to tying? What happened to... Oh, we lost it out of turn 2. Hit the curb. Hit the car. Gave it up after that. Tying out of it. That is a shame. That was an interesting little battle between Lopez and Roland, though. Not a happy chappy, though, with Lopez, you imagine, with the way he was acting there, but we'll have to see how it pans out after the race, ultimately. Guy, though, still leading affairs from Van Buren from Capet. Capet, I think, really starting to close down on Rudy Van Buren here. Last lap was significantly quicker by 3/10. Really closing in on his teammate. Van Buren can't keep up with Gaia's pace, however. Last lap was a 10th slower. Bristol Cap showing he has the pace at the moment, but he's just that far behind at the moment. Van Buren on this lap, from 3.7 to 3.6. He's gained a little bit in the final sector. Last lap overall from Van Buren was quicker, so it fluctuates between Gaia and Van Buren. The gap that Gaia holds at the moment is not the biggest. Still though, it's a solid gap. And solid gaps in Super League are exactly what people need. Have that little bit of buffer space to ease off for maybe a lap or two if they need to. They have the space if they need it. And that can be crucial at times. Hins into the pits from 9th. So we'll see what the Aussie does. He's just come off the ultra soft tyres there. Back onto the supers. So trying that out for a stint. Of course he has to use them at some point. 0 out of the 3 compounds you must use in a race. Mr. Cabot is dealing with some lap traffic at the moment in one of the mad caves. I believe that's Nick Rowland. So wants to get through as quickly as possible here. Rowland just goes off at turn 1 and lets him through in the best way. Oh, well, he actually locked up and spun. It's going to cost him some time. Gaia, though, really where he wants to be. Ty has now left the lobby after retiring from the race. Bristow and Rudy, though, going to be interested to see how this goes. Again, Bristol Capet seems to be really bringing Van Buren into the sights here. Getting himself lined up. Look at the time he's taken out. 2.8 seconds between the two now. This could get good. A very tactical race this at the moment. Played on strategy rather than on track battles, but Hins and Lopez could be an interesting one. Oh, Zapanic's had an excursion in 5th, but Van Buren into the pits. Maybe that's so slow on Old's rubber. Lopez won't benefit from this hit anyway because he's in 10th, but Cabot into 2nd. And Van Buren on a new Super Softs, exits the pits. Gego Baldy won't catch him. Van Buren, though, now down to 3rd. Baldy going to gain some time back. But he's on fresh rubber now as Rudy, so expect him to gain the time back again. Oh, dearie me! Has Risto Cabot just gone? He's disconnected. Oh, it might be my internet, actually. Everyone's gone. Yeah, I think I might have dropped there from the server at least. Something has happened and it's not good. Yep. Right, my internet's gone. Yeah. Blast. Right, I do believe I should have sorted that. Apologies for that slight drop in connection there, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back with you with the commentary as soon as I can get back in the server. But in the meantime, I believe we have a Mike Pittman.
Hi, yeah. Good.
A very
buzzy technical issues.
Very buzzy Mike Pittman. Yeah, not just me who's having the technical issues, evidently. But yeah, great to have you with us, Mike. And yeah, it's interesting to see how this is going to go because, well, Rudy and Risto. Rudy's just pitted, obviously, and he's done a purple sector 1, so on these new tyres, going to try and get some time back.
Yeah, to be honest, we're on hammer time now. It's just getting those, like he did the last stint, we've given him the opportunity here, whereas previous races, you've seen him conserve those tyres, potentially do less stops than most people. Here we are on all outright pace, this is where you can see what he can really do in these conditions.
Yeah, it's time to see how he can really go, and well, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes for him. At least Fight Against the Panic very close to 5 and 6 at the moment in terms of on-track battles, only about second in it between the two of them last split. So, you know, Fight Against the Panic, you know, David Fiddick's having a good race as well. As reigning champion, he needs a good race.
Yeah, he seems to have gone different strategy to Gaia as well, so that's taking us a little bit of a surprise. But he's at the back of the grid, so he's had the same issue that Rudy's had. So it's exciting to see actually how, because there's so many people at the back of the grid, how everyone's sort of dealing with that. Everyone seems to have done it in different ways. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, Rudy Van Buren making a serious statement here. Just gone purple on the fastest lap, and he's done a 1:16.4. That's 6/10 quicker than anybody else in this race. Statement firmly made from the Dutchman, and now so close behind Florian Gaia.
It's amazing. He is incredible, and obviously the car's getting lighter and lighter as we go. We haven't used the ultras yet either, so we expect that to stop that to drop as well.
Of course, that Vodball car, I think now, in terms of overall development, the most developed on the field as well, because that'll be helping Rudy Van Buren a bit, won't it, having the best car?
Yeah, the way the cycle works is that we're off sync the most, so we've had the most upgraded car for this round, we've got the most upgraded engine for this round, we've got fresh engines, everything's set up for the guys. I've done everything I can from my end as a team manager, really, given them the best they can, so it's now up to them to go and prove that they've got the best car and the best drivers.
Yep, they've got the equipment now, all they have to do is go and use it, that's the thing, and well, being able to use equipment that's given to you is one thing, compared to the other of having the good equipment. So this is going to be very interesting how Rudy deals with Florian here, because this could be a sensational fight between these two drivers. That much is for certain. You do not want to be missing this battle here. What do you think is going to be going through Rudy's head? Obviously he'll want to get through and then go for the win, but you know, he's got other people to traffic to deal with as well. So knowing how close Gaia is on pace, is that going to get to him?
I don't think that'll get there. I think he's got faith that he can get Gaia. He's more worried, I think, about certain back markers and getting into traffic. Getting enough time ahead so we pitted out in front of Baldy was important this time, because he seems to be on a much less.
Nick Rowland out of the race with brake failure. That is a first for this Super League season, I believe. The brakes on that Mad Cape have been cooked and they've given up, and Rowland packing it into a wall. Oh, that goes to show how difficult it is on brakes, this track.
Well, it's very true in real F1. This is a very brake track, but it'd be interesting now, having seen that. So does he use the same? I know he was sort of thrown in at last minute, Roland, almost today. I think he was put in on that car. So whether or not the Morris set up, is Morris not the same issues?
This is a tasty battle. Captain and Gaia so close. Captain and Van Buren so close at 63% race completion. It just seems to have all come back to be close racing again, and that is exactly what Florian Gaia, what he wants to be in contention as Gaia. That's what he wants, and that's what he needs. This is looking to be a sensational battle on at the moment. I bet you've got your hands full as the team manager, Mike Pittman, watching this. Gaia down the outside of it, can't get it done. Van Buren closes in, so close here, and with the DRS coming up, maybe Gaia are looking to the final couple of turns. I'll let you get back to your boys, Mike, because this is going to be crucial.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
No wonder he probably wants to get back to his own drivers here. This is the brilliant battle, and for the lead, no less. Cabot and Gaia and Van Buren all giving it the full beans around this track at the moment. Neither wants to lose out. All of them want the lead. All of them could have the lead. So close to each other. Cabot into the pits. It's a straight fight between Van Buren and Gaia now for the lead of this race. Bristol's done all that he can do. Now he's in the pits, and it's Gaia Van Buren for the lead of this race. Van Buren won the last 3 races. Gaia has been dominant so far. And Van Buren, bit of oversteer, but it's nothing he can't control. This could be a very good win. He's not just going to walk off into the distance with this one. He's got to work for it. Crucially, though, Capman out in 4th. Dropped a position to Gergo Baldy, but I think Baldy still has to pit. This could be a very good one indeed. This could be a fantastic race for these two, for the lead. Van Buren just got a tail kite Gaia. Now remember, Rudy, if he can stay in DRS range, will start to close him in. They've been so close on pace these last couple of laps. The DRS might just help him that little bit. He needs, oh, so close to the break. And I think Gaia might have messed the exit up a bit. But he's going to know that. He'll have to go defensive on the exit here. Van Buren cracks open the DRS. What will Gaia do? Starts to swing over to the inside. Van Buren not close enough though, and he knows it. But he's going to have the DRS into one. Will Gaia go to the left? That's the defensive line. I assume he will, because Van Buren has DRS again. But it's not close enough. 0.3 in it. Gaia being pressured, but he's not crumbling. The ice cool German. He knows that he's got this in hand, and he's going to make Van Buren work for it. Really wants to make him work hard here, Rudy Van Buren. And, well, if he was ever going to battle for first, this was going to be the battle. Gaia Van Buren, this one right here. Vodbull versus Nordstjen, battle of the top two constructors, battle of two of the top drivers, the championship leader and the ice cool German, Gaia and Van Buren. Let's not forget David fighting in fifth for Nordstjen and Risto Cowan in third for Vodbull, so still battling going on there, but really this is where it's at the moment, the lead of this race. Again, DRS of Van Buren. Will he get through? No, because he's not close enough, but he'll close in again. Love to see a backwards facing camera on Gaia's car just to see how close Rudy Van Buren is getting. He's got the DRS and under braking he'll make time up, but Gaia is not being phased at all by the sight of that Vodbull in his rearview mirrors. Not phased at all. He does not mind the fact that he's got a Van Buren there, because he knows as long as he holds this lead, he will win this race. Van Buren would be gutted to come second. Loves winning, as we know. Would not want to finish second to anyone. Never mind when he can say it right in front of him. He is not the sort of person that likes losing in any battle. And Van Buren, a bit squiggly out of 8 and 9, but let's see how he goes here round Lepingle. Gaia is doing a superb job to hold him off, it must be said. You can see further away on the straights, but closes up when he gets the DRS. 0.7 seconds in it though at the last split. Maybe that mistake through 8 and 9 cost him. Breaks into the final couple of corners. Gets it down to about half a second again, but it's gone up from 0.3. And that will give Gaia a little bit more breathing space as they come across the line. It's now 0.663. Back on the offensive goes RVB. And that's the crucial thing to do. Van Buren, as we go on board with him, I believe. Yeah, you'll see just how close run this is between Van Buren and Gaia. Giving it everything he's got is Rudy at the moment. Chasing him as hard as he can. 0.544 the gap of the last split. See if it goes up. He is chasing down so hard here. As, oh, car's off ahead. They'll have to dive straight out of the way to avoid impeding anyone. Oh, I think that's a storm. That might be Merrill Clont. Does not impede Van Buren though. Van Buren cuts the gap down by 2/10. Giving it full on chase here is Rudy. Within 3/10. It wasn't enough before. Well, I don't know. I suspect it'll be enough now. Nope. He can't make it be enough. Gaia just has it on Van Buren very late because he's going into the pits. Well, that was a close run, but it's the only way to go into the pits. Gaia breaks where he normally would. Van Buren doesn't break until the last possible moment. That's going to be a really crucial stop from him on into the pits. Remember, he's still got the ultra softs to go. Out of the pits now, Van Buren. Capit, it's going to be a close run between him and Capit. Risto, I think, is just going to edge it. Olsen out. His engine's gone. That's the second of the Hawkeyes out then. But here we go. Look at this straight fight between the Vodballs. Not had it before this season. We're going to get it now. Van Buren versus Capet. It's on. Vodball versus Vodball. Mike Pittman said there's no team orders going to go on here. These two will duke it out. And I can tell you that will be absolutely certain. Van Buren down the inside of 8. Capet tries to defend. Van Buren just got so much more speed though. Maybe a slightly compromised exit, but these two will battle. Will Risto stick it down the outside of the Pingle? No. Opts for a better exit. Van Buren maybe taking a bit more speed. Risto knows he'll get the DRS though, and oh, Rudy's just dropping him, but yeah, the gap and the DRS activation about 0.7 of a second. I think Rudy's just gotten through. Even though the DRS belongs to Capet. Yeah, I think Rudy might have this now. Well, it was a short-lived battle, but Van Buren passes his teammate to get back into second. Yeah. Jack Mayer says he wouldn't like to be Mike Pittman right now, and well, with a delicate situation, I don't think I'd like to be Mike Pittman either. Only Mike can deal with this. Such a good manager, of course, to get Vodball where they are, but it takes driver skill as well, and Van Buren, as skilled as he is, just can't seem to catch Gaia. 50 laps done, 51 we are on. And Florian really has been fantastic since he got back into the lead of this race. Not given any quarter, he's 11 seconds ahead of Van Buren. Of course, he still has to pit, I believe, but Van Buren's gains are going to be crucial. Gaia, of course, has the advantage of when he comes out of the pits, of not having to worry about certain areas of the track where others have to do. You have to hit the chicane if you're not doing the pits. You don't if you're coming out of the pits. Gaia, I think, is having time taken out of him by Van Buren here, bit by bit. Still. Oh, that was 6/10 on that last sector from Van Buren. Purple first sector as well. This man is determined. We got Nero Tiberius in the chat saying Risto has just had it spelt out, number 2. Well, I don't think that was the case. I think they did battle each other, but Van Buren really asserting his, well, championship lead here. Will retain it no matter what happens this race, but wants to go for the win on Gaia. He's just taking chunk out of him now. 0.8 in the first sector alone. And Florian Gaia, I think, knows now that really it's got to be a bit of a miracle if he's not going to lose this to Van Buren. Half a second in sector 2. Van Buren's just pulled the pace he needs out. Maybe Gaia's tyres are too old, but Rudy Van Buren's just doing what Rudy Van Buren does best. He's cutting time out of the lead of Gaia. But remember, when he got up to Gaia, he couldn't get through. That's the crucial thing here. He was 1.8 seconds quicker on that last lap alone, though. You cannot deny his speed. Gaia might be saving tyres. Jack Mayer says he thinks Gaia's taking it easy. If he can do one more stop, he could beat Rudy Hole. Have to make another stop. So he's saying if Van Buren has to do 2 more stops, Gaia can still win by making 1 more. Tyre life versus speed, really the battle here. Perhaps so. Maybe this is Gaia trying to save his tyres to try and out-strategy Van Buren. Could be a very interesting development. Purple first sector from Lee Morris, I think, until it was usurped, but interesting to see how he goes. And Morris again for purple first sector, yep, 22.3. So he's not done in terms of a absolute pace, but Van Buren is just taking chunk out of Gaia here, who we might think might be saving tyres. Oversteer out of the final turn. Gaia is really on it at the moment in terms of his tyre saving. Maybe just trying to out-strategy Van Buren, but we'll see how he goes. If he can make it to a point where he can have similar weight to Van Buren, he can just push as hard as he does. We've seen them matched on pace when they both go 100%. But the question will be, will they be matched on pace come the end of this race? That is what we'll be wondering. Cabot having a good race as well. Still third. He'll have wanted the win, but third will be alright for him. Though leading and winning would have been the dream. I'll tell you this though. Interesting battle bring for 10th. Lopez and Haynes. Close enough. Haynes in 11th at the moment. Not really where he'd probably want to be, but the top 10 will be very respectable for the Aussie, definitely. That cannot be denied. Trying to close in on Lopez, trying to catch the lapped car ahead of them, of the Wouters. Oh, trying to catch a Wouters ahead. Maybe that is the car that's gone through. Actually, that is Gergo Baldi in fourth. So, yeah, they're trying to unlap himself on Baldi. Interesting developments. Van Buren just continuing to take time out of Gaia, really. Pushing as absolute hard as he can, but he'll be wearing those super soft tyres out. Gaia, I think, trying to save. Very smart driver. Wouldn't slow down without a reason. Van Buren only taking 2 turns out in sector 1. Last lap difference. About 1.2 seconds. He's voluntarily giving this gap up in order to out-strategy him. That's what it's all about. Ultimately, when it gets to this sort of point, you really need to be thinking, has the strategy worked? Just slicing and dicing his time away, but I'm very interested to see Gaia's ploy here. What's he planning? There are going to be 55 laps done after this. He'll be on lap 56. So 14 to go. Realistically, Gaia could go maybe one more tyre stop to the end of the race from here. But then again, Van Buren can too, and he's been pushing hard and taking Gaia's lead away, so we'll have to see what goes on. So consistent Van Buren. Just gets into a groove and it's hard to shake him from it. Oh, bit of oversteer, but again, nothing he can't handle. He is sliding the tail of that Bud ball out. Using maximum cornering speeds. Super quick driver. Super quick car. Jeffrey Forney is in. He expects Gaia to pit around 58 or 59 on the Ultras and battle to the end, says Jack Mayer. On the Ultras, Jeffrey Forney is saying lap 58. Could be interesting. This is lap 56, so we'll see if you're right. Franchich in though, from 8th. Gaia though, yeah, he maybe is trying to get on the Ultra Soft here, the fastest tyre compound. Van Buren is closing in though, lap after lap. But once they're on the same tyres, we know they're equal pace. Therein lies the issue for Rudy Van Buren. He'll have to be faster than Gaia. It's no good matching him. That is the thing. Baldi. Oh, well. Baldi is just in 4th place pitting now. He's having a good time of it as well. And Gergo knows really that he has got to try and have a good race too. Fight again from 5th. Comes into the box now on the Ultra Softs. Gonna pit and I imagine he would get off them. He does. Onto the Supers. And firing out again. Gets back out and resumes this race in 5th. He's had a decent race so far, is David Feidick. And looking good for him. Guy in! Now, that's crucial. Van Buren into the lead. Guy in on lap 57. He will come across the, on the lap 58. And he stays on the super softs. Well, going to the end then, I assume. But Van Buren's yet to use the ultras. And he's leading the race now. Cabot in though. Gonna exit. In third. Now, I'm going to be interested to see what Van Buren can do from here. That is Gaia in. I'm surprised he didn't go for the ultras. Maybe he's playing it safe. Well, in retrospect, 13 laps is exactly the sort of distance you'd expect for the supers. Van Buren would probably have to make it about lap 60 or 61 if he wanted to go for the ultras. Unless he was going to make them last for 10 laps. We saw them last 6 or 7 at the start. So usually they don't last very long at all. Van Buren brakes for the final turn then. Going to start lap 59. 57 completed. Now turns to 58 completed. And a 1:16.4 that was from Van Buren. Very quick lap. Well, actually, it's just come up as a 1:18.2, so maybe that was his best lap. Getting confused there with the live standings I've got, but yeah, Guy obviously just pitted. 11 seconds behind at the moment, so I don't think Van Buren has the gap to get ahead of Guy in a pit stop. Needs to continue pulling out this time. You'd expect if Van Buren was going ultras though, you'd maybe have to make these tyres last 2 or 3 more laps. Cabot on the super, so I imagine he'll be going to the end too. Van Buren though, giving full throttle. He knows he can't let up. He cannot let up, otherwise that's going to be bad news for him. His last couple of sectors have been 23.2 and 23.9. Guys have been both personal bests. 22.5, 23.3. Now it's Gaia taking the time away from Van Buren. But if Rudy can just hold on, he might have the chance to go on the ultras. But Florian Gaia knows it's now or never. He has to cut this time down at a rate of knots. It really has to be the full charge from Gaia now. Qualifying lap after qualifying lap from the German. 14,500 RPM in every single gear. Using all of the engine's capabilities. Probably got our maximum boost to boot. Wants all of the horsepower from that Martex engine. Van Buren will be struggling with tyre wear at this point. His sector time is just so much slower than Gaia's. Gaia did a personal best last lap of 16.6. Just 2 turns down on Van Buren's best overall. Van Buren, you've got to imagine if he can, even if he was going to extend the tyre life, got to be this lap on X for the pit stop to get onto ultras. Yet to use them, of course. And he chooses now. He chooses now into the pits. Gaia Reed seconds behind. He'll get back ahead. But Van Buren will come into the box now. We'll see how much time is lost by him overall on Gaia, who will pass him. And he goes on to the ultras as expected. And now it's pure sprint from Rudy Van Buren. Gaia is already at the exit of the pits. Van Buren running towards it now. Bristol Cabot won't be close enough to capitalise, but Van Buren in prime condition to catch up to Gaia now. He's on a faster tyre. For 10 laps, it'll be a sprint. A full-on sprint. That is what it's going to be. This is 10 laps of racing now that will decide the whole race. Going to be crucial, crucial time. Van Buren versus Gaia, 4.6 seconds. This is what it's all come down to. Both could win this. Either one could come out victorious. It'll be a tense moment for both drivers and for Mike Pittman, the Vodbull manager. Mike, great to have you back with us. This is what it's come down to. 4 seconds between Gaia and Capit. Sorry, Gaia and Van Buren. Rudy on the Ultra Softs, Gaia on the Super Softs. He has 10 laps to make up 4 seconds. Got to get 4:10 to lap and then pass him.
Yeah, it's a massive ask, actually. We were hoping to be about 2 behind when we came out, but it didn't quite work that way.
Purple sector 2 from Van Buren, though. He's static intense. So much quicker than Gaia there. On lap 62, they go. And 8 laps to gain 3.7 seconds. He said it's a big ask, but he's gone purple in both last sectors. And his last lap was a 17 dead to Gaia's 17.2. So he has got the pace.
Oh, he's definitely got the pace to catch up. Overtaking will be a different matter. But when they'll both be on warm tyres at the end of the race, it's going to be Gaia's longest stint on those tyres as well, looking at it, and it's going to be our longest running these ultras. It's the first time we've run them, so this will be interesting.
Yeah, anything could still happen in this race. I mean, Van Buren on the softer tyre is just scything the times down at the moment. Purple sector 1 is the man on a mission 22.2 to Gaia's 22.7. That's a whole half a second until now. He's down to 2.4. He can see Gaia. He's just cutting through this gap like a knife through butter is Van Buren. That's what the tyres are going to do, and he's going to have at least 7 laps, you imagine, of just chasing Gaia.
Yeah, there is a point, obviously, at the very end of the stint where ours will drop off, so we're going to have to try and get him before. We don't want to be doing this on the last lap, otherwise we will be at a disadvantage, I think, to the Super Softs. But if we can get there before that, he's got a great chance. If anyone can do it, Mr. Van Buren can.
Yeah, harsher drop off, you imagine, for the Super Softs. He's just closing time in 1.9 seconds the gap on those Super Soft tyres. He knew that it had to be, and be it will, for Van Buren, but now he just cuts the gap down once more and again. And Bristol Cabot, well, he's 14 seconds down the road from Gaia, winning his own race really, but had a good one, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's driven solid. He's stuck to our strategy that we want him to. Gaia's pace has slightly sprung us a little bit, I think, but nonetheless, it's still driven a good solid race, and the guys didn't get tangled up when they were near each other, which has made me very happy.
Yeah, it didn't tangle up with anyone. The 2 and 3 will still be a good finish if you get it, but of course he'll want the win. Thanks, Mike Pittman. We'll like to get back to Rudy Van Buren and Bristol Capper now, because I'm sure it's a tense point in the race for them.
Thanks, enjoy it.
So here we go then. The big battle. Lap 63 will turn to lap 64. And for 6 laps, Van Buren and Capper will battle. Van Buren has DRS. He's a second or thereabouts. And he will have this chance, one chance at this win. Wants to get through before the tyres drop off. Will he do it? That is the question, the key question, the crucial question, the question to end all questions in Montreal. Van Buren, Gaia, the ultimate battle. These two, Ultra Softs versus Super Softs, Nordgen versus Vodbull, Valiant versus Mortex Power. You couldn't ask for more difference in this race. And Van Buren knows he has to get past Gaia. Not an easy thing to do, even on advantageous tyres. He's going to have to go for a very brave move because Gaia, I'm sure, will be doing the defensive drive of his life. Gaia will need to defend hard from Van Buren. We saw when they were within 3/10 of each other, he couldn't get it on the straight. It'll be in a corner, maybe through the pingle. Van Buren round the outside of turn 10. Gaia on the inside. Gonna break for it. Van Buren will have the cornering speed, but Gaia has the line and holds it. Van Buren forced wide, but he's got the traction on the exit. Now will be the critical point. Van Buren to the outside of Gaia. He's got the speed differential for now, but here we go. Gaia still on the inside. Van Buren's gonna have to come over surely. And on the run down to the final corner, Van Buren gets it. And Gaia goes a little bit too wide. Rudy Van Buren on lap 64 into the lead, starts lap 65. At the very end of this race, he might have just got it. But remember, if those tyres wear down, Gaia might have a comeback. He just needs to hang with him. But what a hard thing it's going to be to do when you got a whole tyre compound separating it and your opponent is Rudy Van Buren. That last lap from Van Buren, a 1:15.6. Gaia's last a 1:16.6. Or the best laps, rather. Last lap difference was 1.5 seconds. And you see Van Buren just dropping him like an anchor now. There's a whole second between them. This is the thing. Rudy, he won those super ultra softs. He's just so dominant. That's the thing. Just gets on it. Gets on his case. And Gaia, locks up into Lapinko as well. Just right insult to injury. 1.3 seconds the gap now. You imagine this is Van Buren for the win now, but my oh my, did Florian Gaia put up a fight. Had it right until the very end, and then Van Buren's pace just shone through. It is going to be the dream finish for the Dutchman by the looks of it. The nightmare finish for Gaia. But then again, this is not over, and he does seem to be holding him reasonably to account here. Van Buren starting to slide around on those ultra softs. But pace-wise, he must have this now. Well, Gaia, actually, I think he's cut down the gap slightly. It looks to be closer to a second through one of those corners, but yeah, Van Buren still very much in the driving seat. Maybe starting to get a bit more tire slip than he wants, Van Buren. Remember, longest they'll have run the ultra softs for Vodball, 10 laps. We know they're good for about 8. After that is an unknown quantity, though. He's just increasing the gap, but not as much as he'd like to, perhaps. He's gained 2/10 in that sector. Van Buren would have wanted to gain about 0.3 or 0.4. Coming into the DRS activation zone. I imagine it'll be about the same again. But neither driver will get DRS, of course. Very spread out racing at the moment. But this is the tactical battle. What we want to see. Van Buren Gaia. Really, who's going to get it? 1.7 seconds the gap now. It's not really going up that quickly. And if anything happens to Van Buren, Gaia will still be there. He had to go for the charge though, Van Buren. He had to go for the ultras. Had to try and have a go at it. Gaia does seem to be making up into the braking and through sector 1, but then sectors 2 and 3, Van Buren has it. That's the thing. If anywhere Gaia was going to catch up, it is sector 1, though he's dropped again. 2/10. Almost 2 seconds the gap now. It doesn't look like 2 seconds to me, but that's what my timing's saying. Gaia really giving it the full he can, but ultimately in the end it may not be enough, but I'll have to see. Antonio Hernandez said, I don't know why when defending people going time the DRS activation, I would have left him just a little bit in front after hairpin and done DRS on both straights, lifted off a little. Perhaps so, but I think Florian Gaia well out of DRS range now, that's the thing. Out of Van Buren's reach. Rudy will be happy he's got this one. And well fought back from Van Buren, it must be said. With the back of the grid penalty to deal with, he's done very well to get back to where he has done. The gap to Gaia just increasing to 2.1 seconds. Clouding over the threat of rain all race. It never came though. If it came now, I don't think we'd see pit stops anyway, but well, would throw a spanner in the works. Van Buren though, really the star of this race, you argue, you know, just the comeback he said, but Gaia, do not count him out. Do not leave him out of negotiations. He is taking time out of Van Buren in the first sector, but he loses it in 2 and 3. He has led so much of this race, and he's done just as good a job. David Feidig as well on the Nordstjen. His teammates, just as good, remember. 5th place for Feidig will be good. Not quite the dizzy heights of the Monaco podium, but still respectable. Baldy will be happy with 4th from the back. Caphead will be happy with 3rd from the back. Or the front. He won't be as happy as you'd think a win would have made him though. Had he started from the back, he'd be happy with 3rd, but he didn't. The gap to Caphead is, well, Van Buren and Gaia is not going up as much now as you imagine it would have been before. Only on up at 10th in the last sector. Van Buren is about to start lap 69, the second to last lap. And the gap to Gaia has come down. Gaia starting to bring the gap down. Maybe this is the drop-off point for Van Buren. His last lap in 18.3. Same for Gaia, but last sector helped him. Ready, Van Buren. Maybe this is going to get him a bit, but I think with a 2-second gap with 2 to go, you'd need a second lap from Guy around an overtake. It is a huge ask. If there was 5 laps to go, maybe, but with 2 laps to go, it is an ask. Really needs some sort of miracle now. Just Florian, you imagine. I think Van Buren has extended the gap just around insult to injury. Yeah, 0.2.337 seconds now. That is the gap. This is probably Van Buren's now. Has been an interesting race from all perspectives. Not necessarily tons of on-track action, but technically it's been very interesting to see how this has worked out. And really Van Buren, round the final turn, is going to start the final lap. Well, unless a major disaster occurs, it might about to be 4 from RVB. And that will be a sensational one for his record. Definitely gonna put his name in the history books with this run of wins. Van Buren, we know he loves winning. To get 4 in a row will make him feel very happy indeed. Gaia can be pleased with second, though he'll have wanted the win. Cabot third, Baldy fourth, Fidek fifth, all respectable places, but once again, it's going to be a Van Buren victory. Really stamping his authority on the Drivers' Championship this year. So good in 2016, so good in 2017. What else is there to say but Van Buren is going to win again? Maybe it would have been predictable, but from the back of the grid, you can't argue he hasn't earned it. If he'd started pole, well, predictable maybe, but definitely not easy to do. Round the final couple of corners then, with a back of the grid penalty. This the older soft tyres playing into his hands. It's 4 straight wins in a row for Rudy Van Buren in Super League. He gets the win in Montreal, Canada. Gaia will finish second. He'll be disappointed, but he should be proud. Nordstjen on the top. Second step of the podium again. A top 2 for Gaia. That will be good for him. Bristol Cabot's going to come home in third. And he won't. He'll have wanted the win, but third will do. Third will do. Gergo Baldi with the back of the grid to finish fourth. Very respectable from the Hungarian and Wout was on board. If David Fidek on for top 5 as well. Lee Morris will come home 6th by the looks of it. Ben Sapanik 7th. David Francic 8th. Thomas Hinz will finish 9th. Wright Kilk 10th. Fran Lopez 11th. Daniel Betterfield 12th. Whoopie Hoax 13th. Garrett Rees 14th. Menno Klont will round out the points in the finishers in 15th. Retirements being Tobias Olsen, Nick Rowland, Yarltine, Alex Cooper, Ben Horwell and Thomas Jacobs. Well, in the end, Van Buren just more pace than Gaia. Used the Ultra Soft to perfection. Florian Gaia has had a second this season. He gets another second. Van Buren, though, critically, win number 5. 4 straight wins for Van Buren now. Looking rather untouchable at the top. He tried there, but didn't quite get it in the end. Ultimately, his pace rung out, I guess. And it was a great race for Rudy Van Buren for sure. Well, this should be an interesting interview section. That was certain. A great race, and well, we'll see how the drivers thought it went. And, well, get the views from the managers and the drivers involved. Of course, in the end, Van Buren used 7 sets of tyres. A 6-stop strategy for him. Just seeing by Stefan Rielt, who's put the strategy difference in our GPVWC Discord nicely for us. And 10 laps used on the Ultra Softs indeed for Van Buren. Guy got the same out of them. David Fidek got a 14 lap stint on the Ultra Softs at one point. But yeah, Gaia tried a 5-stop. Van Buren won with a 6-stop. Capit with his 5-stop as well, as was Baldy Fidek. So more stops working for Van Buren. And, well, we're going to get some people in now. And I think we're going to start with Mad Cape Racing's own Lee Morris, who finished in 6th place. And from the back of the grid, Lee, that's actually quite all right.
No, not really.
Well, not for you, of course, but...
Absolutely terrible. Considering the first lap, the first stint, I got up into, I think it was P4 before the pit stop. I was really happy with the car, tyres were good. Then we tried the undercut on the group in front, which worked. But unfortunately, I got a drive-through. A stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that wrecked that. I came in and did that. Obviously, my lack of R-Factor 2 experience, I didn't realise that when you boxed for a penalty, it also changed the tyres as well. So I ended up with 2 sets of tyres in 2 laps. And that was 19 seconds gone there in that pit stop. And then I had 3 more drive-throughs throughout the entire race. So I did about, I think, 11 pit stops today. So I don't know what was going on. It's crazy.
Well, an 11-stop strategy leading to 6th place is still pretty impressive, but you won't be happy with it at all. Obviously, we know how much you love winning, Lee. And, well, obviously 6th place, in that Mad Cape car, which is not very well developed, are you finding the car a bit of a struggle in terms of its performance? Because you've been having some fantastic results this season with it. But surely, your pace can only get you so far.
Well, I mean, qualifying, it was like 2 tenths in front of everyone. P1. We got the pole, if it went for the back of the wheel, we would have started first. So the pace of the car is fine, I can still be quick in it. The biggest problem I've got still is the tyres. And I think I echo a lot of people saying that I wish these tyres would be changed because they're just not very, let's say, matched well to this car. It's got a lot of grip and the tyres don't like it. And it just, I can't drive. How they expect you to drive these tyres is in you've got to be reserved in the entry of the corner and so on. I'm a front end driver, and if I don't have a front end that works, I can't be quick. And today we tried something in the race. Obviously, I can't say what, but I tried something in the race today to try and counter that, and it just eats the tyres. I mean, Fiddick, who's in this room now, I'm sure you're going to ask in a second. I think he did 15 laps on the ultra softs on the end stints or something. I could barely get 9 laps, and they were gone, and I weren't even pushing them. So that's the biggest problem is in the race, we just haven't got the knowledge of the tyre, and I just don't understand how, but the pace is there. I mean, as we showed in qualifying, just as quick as anyone out there, which is nice. It's nice to know that I'm quick, but it's just in the race, I can't do what these guys do with the tyres, and I'm really at wit's end as to what they do.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a struggle sometimes, the tyre life and cooperation. And you mentioned David Fight. We do have him with us at the moment, David. Pleasure to have you with us, of course, as it is ever. I don't know how you managed to get so much life out of those ultra. 14 laps. That is impressive.
Good evening. Well done, Lee, for getting so far up as well. It's just like Monaco and Austria. We've found something in the tyres that are able to help us go long and keep some pace. It's a busy one. I mean, the first corner, I was tucked in behind Lee going into turn 1. Nick, I think it was, I've got to double check, just ran me off and into the wall, and I had damage all race, and the car was like crabbing down the straights. It's just one of them races. I mean, every time in clear air, we were catching up, me and Lee were catching up to Rudy and Risto and Florian as well, so like the pace was there for both of us to close up to the front. But to echo Lee, I'm exactly the same. Like, I'm old school off at the one guy. I like to push the hell out of the front tires, and I'm not able to do that. So like, I'm losing a lot of pace. Well, not so much pace, but consistency compared to the older days. But yeah, it's a decent race. I mean, there was a few stupid moves by people. I mean, at one point I had a car driving head-on towards me over the set one line. A few dive bombs that lost me like 10, 15 seconds in total. Ifs and buts, it could have been better, it could have been worse. But yeah, Florian, I've got to big him up. The only person so far to challenge the Vaudevils in the dry, apart from Lee. Amazing race from Flo. Great pace. It just shows what we could have done if we had clean races. But we're getting there slowly, and there's more to come next race. And considering like I tested the VOD ball this morning, and I could go 0.5 a lap quicker in that car, then it
Really?
just shows. Yeah. It just shows what we got. So
Sorry, I just never. I tried testing that car and I could never do that. It was just as quick as mine. So well done.
the rear of the car was just planted compared to ours. It might have just been a fluky lap, but it just did the lap. It was weird, but it was there. Yeah.
That's encouraging then.
Yeah.
Encouraging signs. And you mentioned Florian Guy. We've actually got a teammate with you here now, David. Florian, second place. Well, you might have wanted the win from Rudy, of course, but still, second is something to be quite happy about because it matches your best result of the season.
Yes, hello guys. Yeah, it was finally after Russia a clean race with no trouble whatsoever. No qualifying was alright. I did my PB and even was up 1.5 tenths sector 1, so could have gone a bit faster, but still not going to complain about P2 and quali. Yeah, the start was okay. I think I covered my place and followed Risto, who then made a mistake and tapped the wall of champions, I think, or at least it was the last chicane. He went in the grass somehow. From then onwards, it was just doing laps consistent and good pace, giving the tires in range, and the Wattboards are, their car is miles ahead of ours, so our effort, both mine and Dave's, was extraordinary. So I think we can't put the blame on us. We did everything we could in our power to take the fight to him, and I think we did that both quite well. And Dave from the back with some incidents as well, and I think overall it was a good event for the team and some good points, but still we're not where we want to be, so got to keep working hard.
Yeah, I've just got to keep working at it. And of course, David and Florian, great to have you both with us as Norwegian teammates together in the same interview room. So I'll ask you both a combined question. Obviously, this year has been a bit more of a difficult championship defence as constructors and drivers in David's case. But, we're coming up to round 7 of 18 now. Do you still think it's on despite the fact that, we've got the dominance of Van Buren and Vodball?
Yes. Well, I mean, every season I've done for the last 10 years, I've always started slow. I think, like, in 10 years, I've won Australia twice. I'm just, like, that much of a slow starter, and we always build up. I mean, no doubt, Rudy's phenomenal, and they've got the car, they've got the team, but, if we were going to settle for second, we might as well quit and go home. We will fight till the checkered flag in Brazil, whatever the last race is, and we'll do what we can to not make it so easy for them.
Yeah, anything you'd like to add to that, Florian?
No, I think he said it spot on. We drove our ass off day in, day out, and see what the race day brings every time. And most of the time it's good, but it's lacking just a little bit to be fighting them on merit, but I think we're gonna get there and fight until the end.
Yeah, it's very much never say die attitude from Norwegian, and that's very commendable. Always giving it a go, always trying, always 100% on it. Thank you very much for joining us, David and Florian.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
And now we're going to go a little bit Australian because we've actually interrupted a mid-sentence, but we'd like to bring Daniel Benefield into the room and his return to Superleague. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, Joshua. It's been a long time.
It has been a long time, hasn't it? It's been quite a while since you've been back in Superleague, but you got a decent finish today, and you must be happy with that on your return with Cairnhow Sports.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it's been, 3 months roughly since Russia. Which was my last race, and a lot has changed since then. So I was getting used to a lot of new things in terms of Factor 2 land tonight or this morning.
Yeah, I mean, obviously back in the Super League cockpit, it must feel good to be back in the GPVWC again.
Yeah, it was. I forgot how much fun the car was, to be honest.
Yeah, it's quite a difficult drive, isn't it? It's not easy, and you've got to really focus on it. So, it's one of those drives that, you've got to really focus on it. So, Kernow Sport bringing you back on board, and, well, I assume this is just going to be a one-off drive or, joining them in emergency capacity, but it's definitely been good to have you back. Do you want to do any more races this season?
See what happens. I talked to Chris about, because I'm pretty sure there's a rule on teams, but since I do have my Super League license, obviously from when from the start of the season, so I'm tempted to just be the quote unquote super sub for whenever someone needs someone. See what happens. I'll need to talk to Chris about that one.
Yeah, rules permit, and I'm sure you'll be able to find something that works. Thanks for joining us, Daniel. Welcome back to GPVWC.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for the broadcast as well.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you with us once again. So, I think it's about time that we stop delaying things, stop beating about the bush, and bringing up none other than the winning driver and constructor manager themselves. I think it's high time we said hi to Mike Pittman and Rudy Van Buren. We'll start with you first, Mike. You must be pleased with that sudden surge from Rudy near the end there.
Oh, we did the whole strategy to plan, to be honest. It went amazingly well, but it was a bit tighter. As I was saying to you during the race, it was a bit tighter than we'd have liked. I think there was a few little moments, but towards the very end, but it did brilliantly job, and it was just about in hand by the end, but just.
Yeah, I got it in hand at the end, and you were saying to me you would have wanted a bit closer than 4 seconds, but he ended up way ahead in the end, so it wouldn't have mattered if it was 2 seconds or 3 seconds or 4 seconds. He probably could have won it back from 5 or 6. He was that fast.
It was the only difference was because we did struggle to get past him earlier in the race, but obviously being the tyre difference it was big towards the end there, but it was just really did well to get that 2 second gap pulled out before we had to sort of start dropping off again, but it's just to get it back of the grid and be spun as well. I know some others had issues as well, but yeah, it's a fantastic drive.
Yeah, it was a stunning drive from Van Buren, and Rudy, that's 4 straight wins in a row now. How do you do it?
I didn't know how to do it after that first stint, but probably. But the full storm charge Valiant car was on fire. It was difficult. I actually said to Mike in the first stint, like, oh, well, the win's over for this one. I saw them going at the front and after the spin and the flat spots in the first stint, and it just didn't get on. But then we just said, well, okay, stick to strategy and try it. Well, it paid off in the end.
Yeah, it did pay off. 5 wins in the season. The second place, your only low point coming at Sochi, really. So, absolute stranglehold on this season at the start of it. But, you look behind to the guys like David Feidick, to the guys like Gergo Baldi. David Feidick himself is, winning champion. And you must feel that you have a good shot at this championship, but you've got to watch out for these guys, surely.
Nah, I don't look behind. You always got to look to the front and just do your own thing. That's always the best.
Yeah, I mean, focusing on who's in front of you is always going to be the way to get positions. And, do you find that mentality helps you, just keeping your eyes on what's going on in front of you?
Sorry, can you repeat that one?
I was saying, you mentioned there you can't look behind you. You've always got to keep looking forward. Do you find that helps you in sim racing?
Yeah, always, but everything in life as well. If you're going to worry about what's happening behind you, you're going to get a difficult life. This is in sim racing with everything. In a race, like for example, Florian was in a different position in the last stint when I was coming behind on fresh tires. But I think you'll know what I mean. But just keep your head in the game and push forward. And of course, we try to we go for the championship, and everybody knows that. And I'm not the only one trying to. But to do so, we just got to keep heading forward and make sure that football cars in front.
It's all about optimism, really, isn't it? I know when things don't go your way, it can be difficult to be optimistic, but optimism is a big part of sim racing, and you're showing that. One more question for you while we got you, Rudy, and it is about your team manager. So, obviously, just do feel free to be totally honest here. What is it like as a football driver?
This is a difficult one. No, it's brilliant. Mike is there every race, helps me all the way through with strategy, with everything. So, can't complain on that part. That's all sorted. And he's doing a brilliant job on the whole manager thing. Like shared in a previous interview that our car's half a second quicker, so that's off to Mike for that.
Yeah, he's pretty good at this whole managerial business, isn't he, Mike Pittman? Been around a while, knows how this system works, and very technically knowledgeable. We had him last year doing our technical show on Superleague, so we obviously got a big lot of knowledge in that big mind of his. Thank you for joining us, Rudy and Mike. Pleasure to have you both with us as ever. And, well, who will beat you?
Well, they will try next race. We'll see.
We'll see next.
At the flag than me.
Yeah, never know what's going to happen in the next race, indeed. Thanks, Rudy. Thanks, Mike, for
Ciao,
joining
ciao.
us once again. So, I think that just about rounds out our Super League broadcast for this week. And, of course, you can join us once more in 2 weeks' time for the next round of the GPVWC Super League. And, of course, coming up in the near future is our summer break at the end of the Hungarian round of things. We've got Britain, then we got Hungary, then we go on break a little bit afterwards. But, yeah, you know, it's coming to the summer break soon, and drivers will be worrying about that in a couple of rounds' time. But yes, 2 weeks' time, join us for Britain Week from Silverstone, 13th, 14th, and 15th of June, and then the Hungarian Week, 27th, 28th, and 29th after that. But until that time, I've been Joshua Anderson, and from Montreal, Canada, we'll be seeing you for the British Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time.